Hi everyone! Today I'm going to show you a really cool T-Sketch feature presentations and walk you through how I create them. First, I start with a blank document, give it a name, and choose a background color for my canvas. Then I set up the background effect. I personally like working with a dot grid background. I actually covered T-Sketch backgrounds in more detail in my previous video. I find it easier to build presentation by starting with the presentation frame itself. Since T-Sketch has an infinite canvas, it really helps to create some boundaries for your layout. So I choose the format of my future presentation and create a 16:9 ratio slide size where all my content will go. Of course, you can do it however you prefer. For example, you could start with the content first and only later place it in the slides. I'm doing it the other way around. Once I've selected the slide format, I click Add Slide. I won't show the full drawing process because it takes quite a while, so I'm switching on a time lapse so you can see the whole process quickly and from a broader perspective. Here, I've created 8 slides, adding illustrations, text, and titles. At some point, I decided it would be a great idea to use icons from the built-in symbol library instead of drawing them myself. T-Sketch actually has a pretty extensive collection. As you can see, I removed my hand-drawn icons and replaced them with ones from the library. Then I thought it would be nice to make the presentation feel more dynamic by adding elements created with animated brushes. That's how this moving arrow appeared. Next, I decided to animate the circles that hold the icons on another slide and also recolor them to match the orange theme of the presentation. All you need to do is select the existing shape, then on the right panel change the brush type. In this case, I'm using the animated dot brush and adjust the color there as well. It literally takes just a few seconds. Again, I used icons from the library, super quick to do. By the way, you can also easily change the color of the icons themselves, but in my case I decided to keep them black. I added a few more animated details to my illustrations so they wouldn't look too static. And also adjusted the icons to keep everything consistent across the presentation. And now the presentation is ready. Let's take a look at the result. We go to the Presentation tab, click the orange play button and switch into presentation mode. And here's what we've got. Try creating your own presentation in T-Sketch. I would love to hear your feedback. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!